All right, let's dive in. We're going to talk about something that I guarantee you've experienced. It's that super frustrating moment when you and someone else see the exact same thing happen, but your stories about it are wildly different. Well, there's a name for this. It's called the belief in multiple realities. And honestly, getting your head around it can be a total game changer for how you talk to people. Okay, so picture this. You've been there, right? You and a friend are at the same party, or you're in the same work meeting. Maybe you even watched the same movie. And when you're talking about it the next day, it's like you were on two different planets. One of you thought it was amazing, the other thought it was a total disaster. So what's going on here? How is that even possible?
Well, the thing is, it's not really about figuring out who's right and who's wrong. The answer actually comes from a really powerful idea that researchers use, especially when they're trying to understand, the messy, complicated parts of human experience.
All right, so that brings us to our first big idea, the filters of reality. See, here's the thing you have to get. Your brain isn't like a perfect high-definition video camera just recording what's happening. Nope, it's way, way more personal and honestly, a lot more complicated than that.
And this is where the core concept comes in, multiple realities. So what does that mean? Well, it's the belief that none of us, not me, not you, is seeing the world in a purely objective way. Instead, the reality you experience is something that you are actively building, moment by moment. It's constructed and it's shaped by literally everything that makes you you, your background, your history, all of it.
So how exactly is this personal reality built? Let's break it down. It all starts with these really deep foundational layers. You can think of it like the operating system running in your brain. It's made up of your identity, all your past experiences, your background, and your deepest held beliefs. These things are the fundamental lens you see everything through.
Okay, so you've got that foundation, right? Then, on top of that, you have another set of filters that are working in real time. These are way more dynamic. We're talking about the preconceptions you bring into a room, the weird little quirks of your own perception, and just the way your brain scrambles to make sense of new stuff. You put all of that together, and that's what creates your unique, one-of-a-kind experience of any single moment.
Now, this is a pretty cool idea just to think about, right? But it's not just some abstract philosophical concept. It's actually a supercritical, hands-on tool for certain professionals, especially for researchers.
Think about it. If you're a researcher and your whole job is to truly understand someone's story, well, this mindset isn't just nice to have, it's absolutely essential. You can't go in looking for the one single truth. It just doesn't work that way. To get a real, authentic picture, you have to start by accepting that you're exploring just one of many equally valid realities.
So what does this actually look like when they're doing their work? It basically boils down to a three-step process. First, you have to accommodate different viewpoints, and not just tolerate them, but really make room for them. Second, and yeah, this is the really hard one, you have to consciously suspend your own personal judgment. Just put it on a shelf for a while. And third, you go looking for context. You dig in and try to figure out why this other person's reality makes total and complete sense to them.
Okay, so that's how the researchers do it. But let's be real, what does this mean for you and me, in our everyday lives? This is where we bring it all home, moving from theory to practice.
And this is where you can see the payoff, right? On one side, you have the fixed mindset. This is all about judgment. It's about seeking proof that you're right and they're wrong. And where does that lead? Almost always it leads to conflict. But when you make that shift over to the multiple realities mindset, the whole game changes. Your focus isn't on judgment anymore, it's on empathy. You're not trying to win the argument, you're trying to find understanding.
So how can you actually do this in your own life? It really comes down to three things. First, try to be actively empathetic. That means actually asking yourself, okay, wait, how could this person's point of view be true for them? Second, you've got to create a space where people feel safe enough to share their reality with you. And third, and this is maybe the most important, catch yourself. You know that moment when you're not really listening, you're just waiting for your turn to talk? Try to catch that, and instead just listen. Listen to understand.
All right, as we start to wrap this up, I want to leave you with one last, kind of provocative question to chew on.
I want you to really let this quote sink in. Your perception is a reality. It is not the reality. That's so powerful, isn't it? It means that everything you see and feel is 100% valid and true for you. And the secret to empathy, the real key, is just remembering that yours isn't the only reality in the room.
And that, of course, leads us to the final, really big question. If we truly accept that every single person's reality is real and valid to them, then what on earth does that mean for our idea of the truth? Yeah, it's a huge question, and there are definitely no easy answers. Just something to think about. Thanks so much for tuning in.